Well, it's March 3rd. It's the day of the Israeli elections, or the election, or whatever. I don't know. Or March 2nd it is. It's the day of the Israeli election. It's 2:10 maybe right now. The book's completely done. The description, I added one sentence or whatever, or however many. I don't know. It's like a little slip. It just puts an expiration date on digging up the ark, and I've got what I want to. I've got what chapter 8, I guess, to post on Reddit, and I'm reading about Joel, where it says that for shattering whatever and dividing my land is what God says. Joel wrote that God said, and because God delivers for Joel, and in other verses that Joel has written, God's also done that via this story too. But I didn't give credit to Joel, but I'm doing so now. Not that I rejected Joel or Joel's, the book of Joel by not including it. I simply just, how do I say this? I just didn't include it, but I'm doing so now. So good job, Joel. He's very accurate. It seems like some of his, like an excerpt from his book wound up in mine, but I cut it, and it's not my book. It's God's answer to all these prophets. I'm just matching things and saying, oh, okay, that makes sense via me and via my life, my story, the book that I've written, which is just reporting what he's done, what he's arranged, things down to the street that I live on, the street that my dad lives on, the street that that the Mahdi lives on. He lives on, well, I'm not going to tell you the name of the street. He can do it so himself, but you'll see a cool story with a perspective already built based off his street and the next two streets that I've seen so far. The names are incredible. I'll give you the second. It's, well, actually, they're poets. They're very well-known poets. And then the first name is a sort of business perspective, but not that Mahdi will be, negotiating financially. He's merely going to be presenting as a gift to the world something specifically from the Muslims. And in return, Muslims will receive something from the world as different countries stand up and say, well, we're going to offer this and this and that. And coronavirus is the binding that keeps everything together. It's our newly introduced 2.5% fatality, not restriction, but just awareness that it's there. Anyway. Yeah, so I guess I'll just post this online. I just don't know whether to do it today or tomorrow. I made an agreement with myself and God that I'd do it tomorrow at 2:22 Central Time. The reason I'm looking at Joel is talking about dividing the land, which isn't going to happen today. The Trump administration said they were going to wait until after the election until they divide the land, so it could be tomorrow. But I was thinking, well, I could put it online today, but Tuesday's a slow day, and my original agreement with God was that. So I don't know. And I'm going to put it online, and then based off its response, I'm going to alert my family. But I'm not going to alert them until after it shows traction on analytics through the different online vendors. That's the plan. That's what was established this morning via some pains in my body. But now I'm feeling good. When I say pains, I just mean like all of a sudden you just have a quick pain as you're thinking, and the pain goes away when you lock on to the right solution as you're gaming out different options. Like this, no pain. Okay, new thought. What about this idea? What about this idea? Should I alert my loved ones before I post it on Reddit, or should I alert them afterward? And I'm thinking about this, and the pain goes away. Like, it didn't go away for a while, and it just showed up again for a second because it's it's a live justice piece. And I spent time, what that tells me, which is gone now, but it means explain further. It means red light. Explain further what you're talking about, which means that the pain, it just persisted, and it wasn't a quick solution. I was like, well, do I email this friend and then not others, or do I do separate emails or whatever? And the pain, and I was like, what's the consistent thing that I'm doing wrong? And I'm like, the email part. Oh, don't do the email yet. Post it first, and then when you need to do the email, then do the email. And then the pain went away. So I'm thinking my whole paradigm had to shift away from any email, but it's related to an email, and then I need to be ready for that via a pain in my leg, which just reappeared as I began to tell you about that. And it stopped within seconds after I realized, oh, wait, that was a red light, James. You're doing something wrong. Now that means explain this. So, anyway, I think about these things because I spend all day thinking about my storyline and God and all that. I also think it's pretty cool that I dipped out of civilization. What it seems to be, and what I will be proven in time, is the sort of like peak of civilization, which is as Donald Trump took office, they're going to look back and say that was the best part. Like, if you were going to dip out of all society, your obligations and everything, when would you do it? And the thing is, you can't tell my story today because you have travel restrictions. So I chose the time. Everything was designed around dipping out then because it only gets worse now with coronavirus and travel restrictions, stuff like that. People wearing face masks, like in Venice, like you want to go and visit, like in Florence, you want to go to see the David or whatever. If the museum's open, oh wait, you're going to be surrounded by people with face masks. So it would have been optimal to kind of, in 2017, dip out, which I'm pretty sure someone else has done too. So I think about that. What else? So yeah, and the markets. So the markets like all peaked between February 12th and 19th of 2020, a couple weeks ago, and the median of those 5 trading days was the middle trading date. That's when the book was published, so it kind of calls the top of the market just based off its published date. And then it's a decline since then. The markets had a strong surge today, up like 2.5%, but it shows that there's going to be, because the markets have been swinging 1,000 points, 600 points, whatever, but trending down, it's going to be a bumpy battle between the bulls and the bears as things keep getting worse. They never get contained, and the virus spreads globally, and it's just a part of life. It's just God's thing until we have a vaccine, which God will grant via research. But we're not going to need a vaccine because the book is the antidote. The exercise of recording a full confession, which I guess I can do now because I haven't done one in so long. Looked at a bunch of graven images, thought about just like throwing in the towel in different ways, some severe, some less severe. Just fleeting thoughts, but still I had those thoughts. Let's see, doubt of myself, doubt of God, doubt of the plan, I guess. What else? Oh, filled up sodas for free at the movie theater. Negative thoughts toward my mom, my dad, other people. I don't know. I don't think there's a lot more or anything else. I live a pretty clean life now. Maybe worried about money for a split second or something. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, God. But that's what I got. See you around, guys.